Greetings and salutations, Earthling. I am Doobie, and I'm going to be doing collective reading. If you're interested in a personal reading, my information is down below. I'm wearing my goofy headphones or ear things, whatever, because my cat chewed the cord to my microphone. So, not that I'm probably known for having good quality sounding videos, but if this one is worse, apologies. If you're interested in a personal reading, did I say this? Astrology or tarot, my information is down below. And I wanted to start this one off a little bit weird. This is going to be general. You may be in or around it. If it's not feeling like it's you at all, that's totally fine as well. You're free to stick around and see if you get anything out of it. Regardless, here we go. So I closed my eyes and I pulled a book off the shelf and I almost put it back because I feel guilty. I've had this book forever and I haven't read it yet. I've read a little bit of it, but maybe I should read it. But I decided to pull it back out and stick with it. So I'm going to randomly open up to a page and point to a sentence, and that will start our reading. Interesting. And I swear I wasn't looking. It might have looked like I was looking, but I pointed before I looked. But this change must happen within us first so that we can then collectively make wiser choices in creating healthier societies. Weird. So we're making changes within. That's right up my fucking alley because that's all I ever talk about. You have to change you. Why did my nose just get plugged up? Um, that's totally an AA thing too that I got. It's really big on I can't change other people. I can't change all circumstances. I can only adjust myself accordingly, and choose to live and grow wherever I am and whatever I'm facing. So that's my bias. It might be a weird reading if you're new here, you wouldn't know that, but I'm gonna try to do it a little differently. Actually, there's no trying to do it differently. I'm gonna do it different than I usually do. Okay. I'm doing a Celtic cross with the super weird card, and then I'm gonna clarify them. We got 50-50. Also, if anything specifically speaks to you, before I do these, I pray that it reaches somebody, even if the message that I'm directly giving, it doesn't vibe with you, maybe you'll catch something from it that is like a sign from your guides, your angels, whatever you believe. 50-50. So this, we're like half here, half there, one like a foot in one world, a foot in the other world, a delicate balance, um, finding a place where we're sharing, taking care of ourselves and others. Okay, so that this represents us or what we want. The next card is the challenge card. Um, so what is challenging the balance? Encounter. What is challenging the balance? Aliens, maybe if you're really weird and you're into that shit. or it could just mean encounters with other people, encounters within ourselves, what we're finding in ourselves, uh, people making demands. This coming across as the card that is challenging this balance that we are trying to reach, right? So encounters, right? What is our unconscious drive? Requires stillness. This is a need for peace, a need for quiet, a need for solitude. Uh, Even if okay, so say that solitude is our default, or that if you're watching this and you actually feel challenged to go out and be among the aliens making encounters, maybe that this could be the 50-50. Maybe you're like, yeah, I'm all good with me. I really need to find my people or whatever. But this requires stillness. It's like there's a snake on here. Not all snakes, I mean, snakes get a bad rap, I think. You know, they're really, they shed their skin. They're about transformation. But um observing, it might be that needing to go out and be with others, but not in a reactive sense, to be still, to observe, so that you can weed out the snake. What are we coming from? What's in the past? Pop, pop the cork. Something opened up, something burst, something happened unexpectedly in the recent past, and that's where we're coming from, right? Some sudden changes, unexpected things. I always do these for like a 6 month period, so 3 months in the past, 3 months in the future, but that's very, very loose. Um, you know, if this reading feels right for you, it's kind of what time frame feels right for you. But something has popped, something has exploded. I see we have all purple here. Purple is the color of royalty. Purple is third eye chakra. So we could be getting sudden insights, downloads from spirit, whatever. Um, what do we know? Twist of fate. So this is the known. What do we know? And that's kind of funny because we have in here in the subconscious, what we might not be aware of is that stillness is required. Okay. What we're coming from is pop, sudden changes, pop the cork. Maybe we celebrated, maybe something was exciting and we were really happy about something. But up here we have dice, whatever. Um, dices. I remember I wanted to be a dice when I was in grade school for Halloween. Like I just wanted to paint a box or whatever, wear my saddle shoes. I had it all planned out. I must have been in fourth grade. Anyway, I was never, but I remember wait, dice, when you're one, it's a die. And I thought that was really weird. Anyway, um, twist of fate. So it's a roll of the dice. Like things are changing quickly, and maybe we had sudden changes, and they have not stopped. Okay, but twist of fate. Like, whoa, how did that happen? How did this happen? And that's why this balance that we need is so precarious. We're encountering all of these changes on the external, and it might be difficult not to like react to them, or get caught up in all of that. Let me turn this. I don't know if you'd rather see the cards or my face. Do this, whatever. I'll move it over that way. Um, but yeah, it's like there's a lot of change. going on. And we might be in reaction mode instead of taking the time to allow all of those changes to seep in. All right, what are we moving towards? Adventure, risk, diving in. We're diving in. You know what I like about this adventure risk is that they're diving into the water. Okay. Water is emotions. So this is diving into our own emotions, but also um it's like they're submerged. So there's no talking, there's no like it's just you dive in and you swim. Um and the sun outside and shining off the snow. Anyway, whatever. I'm glowing. I'm glowing. But we're diving into the water and it's like you go in and you don't have time to talk about it. You just do it. You know, it's just t following spirit's lead, just doing the next right thing. Okay, so, what is in the immediate future? This is like over the course of next three months. Like I was saying, I do these over about 6 months. Immediate future, we have persevere. It's the turtle and the hare. And for this, I'm getting it's going to be a little bit of both. I know the story of the tortoise and the hare. However, from this card, they're neck and neck. Uh, Sometimes you might have to run. Other times it might be time to take it more slowly. Um, but there's been a twist of fate. That's what's known right now. And right now, and at this moment, it's time to just persevere through that. So, what are others up to in this reading? Work in the road. The people around us might be changing. Um, yeah, I mean, if we might be making decisions regarding relationships. Others might be making decisions regarding having a relationship with us. Hopes and fears. Doors fly open. This is in hopes and fears. So the hopes and fears part is like what it is that we want. We're also afraid of getting. Um, because it's like once you get the next thing, well then what's the next thing after that? Also, are we going to be able to handle the next thing that we get? Um, what's the outcome? Whoa, Nelly. And the squiggly lines everywhere. All right. That's not that card is no more important than the rest of them. It's kind of like a summation of all of them. So what I'm seeing is here there's a lot of changes going on around us. We're coming from changes and we're like in the midst of more changes. I don't feel like it's even the same changes that happened back there. They're like even newer like changes. And we're like, yo, I didn't even get to a place of balance yet with what had happened. Um, so I'm out of balance, and yet at the same time, I'm trying to navigate this world. And the world could be foreign. Maybe the world is foreign to you. Maybe you're like, what is this? Because you haven't integrated who you are yet, right? It amongst the changes that already occurred. So I really think this is leaning towards carving out some space for you. Um, It doesn't mean not to find your people or whatever, because again, we have this fork in the road. There might be shifts going on just in the relationships around you. For the time being, just hang in there. We've got the turtle in the hair. So for the requires stillness, um, it's like when you have to run like the rabbit, then run. But when you can be the turtle, hide in your shell a little bit, whatever, do that. That's how you persevere. You adjust accordingly to the energies that are around you. But instead of getting stuck in that run, run, run mode like we are the rabbit, I'm like almost reversing the story, but I don't really fucking care because this is how this reading feels. Make sure that you take that time out to get in your shell and to be quiet. It's not a race. We're not actually in a race. Like imagine that they're just staying in place, right? Um, and then because what we really want, what we really are looking for is behind the doors that we want to fly open. But the thing that I read at first is that we have to make changes within us before they're reflected outside. Um, and this Whoa Nelly card just kind of sums the whole thing up. Like, shit's whacked, yo. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not young, um, but yeah, there's something about that. So now we're making changes within. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna clarify with tarot, which I thought would be funny. I was gonna do it the other way around. Changes. Okay, so we're trying to clarify this balance that we're looking for. Well, 50-50, sharing, quality, balance, duality. The Knight of Wands. Okay. The Knight of Wands is an action card. So I am really freaking glowing. I'm sorry. That's the snow. Um, the night takes action. Fire is action. Fire is also spirit, passion, creativity. So what I think is that we may have a bit of excess energy here. What we want to do with that excess energy is like she is drumming. Find a physical activity or something that you can do to that is both meditative, something that you can derive pleasure from, but also quiet. So it's like something that will get you in the zone, but you have to actively seek that encounter. What's up with all these aliens around us? The Knight of Pentacles, two knights. You know, and in the tarot, the knights are like the escort cards, meaning that we're like doing stuff. It's teenager energy. It's kind of wild, It's and the Knight of Pentacles, though, Pentacles are earth energy. That's our 3D material reality. He's planting the field, okay? And when he's planting the field, he may not always see the fruits of his labor, but he's probably the teenager that like goes out and gets a job and really like tries to make solid plans for the future or whatever. People might be like, "What are you doing? We're going to a party." And they might make fun of him, like, "Why are you going to bother doing that?" But then he has the benefits, and later on, they're like, "Hey, you saved up money to buy your first car. Could you drive us to the concert?" It's that kind of energy. So when we have this encounter card, um, are you not making sense to the people that you're encountering? Because if you're not, if you're being misunderstood, what you're doing is planting seeds. Like make sure that the seeds you plant in your friendships are ones that you want to have, you know. Um, that's what that night feels like to me. Interesting. So now we're doing subconscious. And we have this requires stillness. Seven of Swords. Oh, I love this. The Seven of Swords is a card of like secrets, hiding, um, stealing away. It's kind of what's coming to me. And it's steal away time for yourself. Make sure that you're carving away time for yourself. Um, and the swords are that's air energy, that's mental. So that's our thoughts. And the reason that we need the stillness is because our thoughts need to be, we've got to collate them, which is how I like to call meditating or contemplating for me. But we need quiet time to be able to collate our thoughts and organize them. And you might have to be a sneaky motherfucker to get that done. Like maybe just you're in high demand. Maybe a lot of people are demanding your attention and focus. But it's really important for you to get away. And spirits, like, even if you have to like steal that time away. All right, recent past. Ace of Cups. That popped out right away. We have something pop here. With the Ace of Cups, that's a beginning of like a love experience, you know. Like I said, maybe something really good happened. Maybe you were excited about something, maybe your heart really opened up. Whenever our heart opens up, that leaves us open to a newer level of vulnerability. Because then we had that twist of fate up here. But yeah, something began, something started, your heart opened to something in the recent past. And even good things like that are sudden changes are still sudden changes. So now let's put the twist of fate. Two of Wands. We're at a crossroads. Actually, we have that here too with the fork in the road. So with the Two of Wands, sees it, the globe is on here. Could just be like the world or your world shifted, and now you have to make a choice that you didn't anticipate having to make, right? Again, we have Wands, that's fire. This cup over here is water, which is emotions. But the Two of Wands is like, which way do I go? Um, and the way that you go, wands are heart energy, and you've got the heart opening here. You've got to go with your heart, and sometimes that is a moment by moment decision. Um, Maybe breaking things down into many choices, like and you might not even know what your options are with this 50-50 here. Could you have both? What would be your choice? You know, if you're looking for balance, you do want to go with what is authentically your choice, the one that's in your heart. Yeah. I want to pull another one on that because the two of the front door. All right. Two of cups. So we got the Two of Cups to clarify the Two of Wands. This could be a relationship reading. Do I stay or do I go? And relationship doesn't have to be love relationship, could be, again, this is relationship, and you've got to do what feels right. Who do you have? Okay, ready? So when I'm looking at this with that lens, this requires stillness card, Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is like, are you, who do you have to hide from? Who do you have to sneak from? Is there someone that you can't be your authentic self with? And if that's the case, then that that's choosing to what is in your heart. The Two of Cups are, that's a relationship. So we have the twist of fate. We have two die here. Um, People change, you know. Things change, circumstances change. What makes you feel good? But we're going from the Ace of Cups, this new feeling in our heart, to a twist of fate and a choice that needs to be made. The Two of Cups. Maybe the choice is out of our hands. Maybe that's why it requires stillness. Maybe we need to observe other people's actions. Um, Interesting. So, in the immediate future, persevere. What do we have to say more about persevering. Two of Swords. Ah, dang. Okay, so that's interesting. The Two of Swords. No, uh, swords are air energy. That's our mind. Don't overthink things. The Two of Swords, she is trying to decide and she's all up in her head. She can't see, like, she can't even see what's coming because she's tried to figure out so many options, so many potentials, so many possibilities. And maybe at this point in time, it's like just stay the course. Sometimes this card can come out for if we're procrastinating a decision. And if that's you, that's for you to know. However, sometimes, a lot of times, this part to me indicates we can't see, we don't have enough information. We don't want to jump to conclusions. We don't want to be all up in our head making decisions. So the birds represent like her thoughts, like fighting with each other. We're just in this overthinking part, and you cannot make a choice from that. So we need to wait until we get to this space where he's more like, okay, what do I want in my heart? What feels good? What relationships feel good? And if it's not a relationship, it could be like a choice in career, choice in, just direction, anything, but way of being, way of moving forward. So in our environment, we have a fork in the road. So yeah, we're hitting a fork. It's like there's definitely some sort of uh either energy that's going on here. The moon. Funny. That's funny. Fork in the road. We have the moon card. Oh, I did something. I skipped this card. I'll get back to it. But I think it's kind of funny because look at that being underwater. Um, Fork in the road. We have the moon card. And the moon card can indicate deception, it's confusion, it's not knowing for certain. We're in the watery emotions, right? So here we're all up in our head, and here we can be overly emotional. Um, we want to do we feel like we're being deceived by people? If we feel like we're being deceived by people, well, that answers your fork in the road. Again, there's who feels good to be around, but the moon card is also one that comes out for me, like I just said, for the Two of Swords, where it's still nighttime, the moon is out, it's not, we don't want to rush into a hasty, overly emotional decision. There's we don't want to veer too far one way, too far the other. So this is like the best way to navigate the moon space is to not be making overly dramatic decisions. You can stand at the fork for a little bit. There's such a wait and see thing going on here. A don't rush, kind of let things like fall, let everything, it's like things are still up in the air and we don't know where they landed yet. The dice have been thrown, but we don't even know where they've landed. We don't want to anticipate what's going to come out, or try to imagine every fucking combination because we'll make ourselves nuts. Let's just wait for the dice to land and see what the outcome is, before we like jump into anything. Maybe there's something that we really want to happen that we really thought happened here and it's being held up. So now I want to clarify this adventure risk. Um, that is in the next 3 months, it looks like. The Hermit. We're diving into our own feels. We're diving into our own emotions. We're finding our own inner light. We're still under the moon. Kind of funny, the moon is in this one too. We're in the thick of something. Like this might have given us a peek, but what happened was if whatever it was that we opened up in our heart recently left us vulnerable and exposed to like newer lessons, or I don't believe the universe tests this, but there's something like this, like a faith, like having faith, getting through the night. knowing that the morning, like we're on a journey, and it's nighttime right now, and we know, but we have an idea. We've heard about this place that we're headed to. Maybe we've never been there, but we've always wanted to go. Um, and it's kind of like, is it really there? Is it really going to be there? You know? All right, doors fly open. Three of Cups, celebration, um, supportive friendship, that feminine energy, receiving love from friends, people around you. Uh, to me, it also kind of represents like ritual, asking for things, asking for help. That this could be talk to your angels, guides. Um, again, it's a hopes and fears card. So maybe we're afraid to celebrate, but acknowledge what it is that you want as though you have it. I mean, that is really a key part to manifesting. Is feeling the feelings you would have if you had what it is that you're looking for, but also being aware that you are not looking for money. You're looking for a feeling that having money would give you. So it's that emotional, that's what pulls it in. You know, you're not hoping for a partner. You're hoping for a feeling you are looking for when you have a partner. So the key to manifesting is visioning and or writing or whatever and feeling the emotion that you imagine having that would make you feel. Anyway, but it's kind of like that's risky because your ego's in there going, oh, that's so fucking stupid. You don't have it here right now. Why would you do that? You know, this is dumb. You just look dumb sitting here doing your with your big ass smile on your face all by yourself meditating. I don't know. Whoa, Nelly. Yeah. Oh my God. Four of Cups. Whoa, Nelly, like Four of Cups is she's looking at these three cups right here, like ho hum. And then on the side, God's like laughing, like, yo, this girl, she has no idea like how amazingly I'm filling up this bowl that she doesn't even know about, you know? So you don't want to be stuck in ho hum land. Um, because good things are coming in. Wow, that was really cool. Let's see it. 222 we got in here. For animals, we got horses, crows, snake, turtle, rabbit. What numbers on these guys? Three. Oh, there's a bunch of them. I want to do an oracle, but yes, the changes have to occur within us before we see the change in the outer world. Um, so I am feeling collectively, even before uh, I did this reading, that it's time to watch talking. Um, I am going to be giving up Facebook, possibly, probably, yeah, Instagram for Lent. Not that I'm a practicing Catholic anymore, but a few years ago I um, gave those up for Lent, and I ended up moving to Texas. Like, and I had no, anyway, it's a crazy story. This is already long enough, so I'm not going to share it. But I was journaling and I wrote in my journal that I just want my own words in my head. I'm kind of tired of all the words floating around in there and that feels collective, so it's like it really is time to uh, like we can get trapped in these dynamics with other people where we're consistently explaining ourselves and feeling obligated to others, and it's like right now feels like this break, like just breaking free and disentangling ourselves from others. Not that we're not meant to be in relationship to one another, but so so that we can discern who feels right, who like who has like who do we feel obligated to, like what are we doing because out of a sense of duty or obligation, and that's something that we put on ourselves. Some people outright put it on us as well, and this is the time to disentangle from that too, and piss those people off. And I'm talking to me because I'm not good at this stuff. I mean, all the time, like I'm a human being doing this shit. This is how I do it. Is all. This is how I'm learning. What? Oracle. All right, we're gonna do Queen of the Moon Oracle. Peace. Shut up. Finding that inner peace. Number 28. Yeah. Meditate, pray, connect, connect to yourself, connect with spirit, carve out stillness, find that alone time. Um, you know, sit. Even if you don't meditate or whatever, sit, write, doodle, scribble, yell, talk to yourself, but anything and like anything that you can do for 2 minutes. But I think it's important to set a timer, even if you only set a timer for like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But your ego will argue with that timer. And the important thing I feel to a meditative or a contemplative practice is showing your ego who's boss, right? Um, and I think the ego sometimes gets vilified, but it really is. This is about coming to a place of peace within ourselves, carving out that space for ourselves. We have this 50-50. That's how we are balanced. I sort of love how this is like the only white card, and she's wearing like all white as well, finding our own inner light. That's what the hermit is. We might be encountering some difficult stuff because the adventure risk is, oh my goodness, okay, I could just get something else. He's just, or she is just diving into the water. You know what? I'm going to dive into the water. The water is my own emotions. And the adventure risk in that is that my wants and desires and all of the things that I am trying to control, I'm just going to leave them up to God. And that's the adventure risk. And that shit is risky and it will scare your ego and it'll scare you, or it's, like, but this is like, you know what? Do the most. Everybody can do the most. I'm just going to trust spirit's got it. Um, anyway, that was good. Sorry if that was a really long bag. I'm going to get going and I hope you have a great day on Earth. Peace. Namaste.